This episode is brought to you by the fabulous members of the You Run Podcast Network, all available at yourunpodcast.com.
Oh, I'm a happy camper. I love the summer sun. I love the trees and forests. I'm always having fun.
You want to die tonight?
The dad jokes you tell sets the scene. I hang on every word lost in the screen. The passion for fear is contagious enough. You make me believe in Mark's overblown roundups. You run podcasts for a movie review, unveiling facts and playing games too. Your words paint pictures of darkness and dread, leaving me grinning long after I fled. But oh, to do what podcast.
I love that song, man. I haven't listened to that in years. What a banger.
Yeah,
Probably not that
absolutely.
version, but
No, saying that, I'd like that version with the rap over it would be cool.
yeah. In the summertime where the weather is fine. Oh man, feeling that
Yeah.
this week.
Hello and welcome to Camp You Run Podcast. This is the horror movie review activity of the You Run Podcast. My name is Scott,
My name is Mark.
and this is the most entertaining, funniest, most authentic horror movie podcast you will hear today. If you only listen to
Just
us.
today.
Yeah, and if you only listen to us. We have a great episode lined up today, and at camp, we're starting with a synopsis, an orientation, before a hike that is the main review. Later in the episode, we're going to be telling stories all about the production and movie facts, followed by some interactive features, rounding things off with a quick game on our final thoughts before shipping you all off to bed with our scores. Our summer camp is awesome, and the question is it as fantastic as our movies camp today? Because our movies camp is also fucking awesome. At a seemingly idyllic summer camp, camp counselor Angela is intent on ensuring everyone has a fantastic time, and more importantly, following her ridiculously strict rules. Problem is, when you lock horny teens up in cabins at the lake, like, rules go out the windows and they're replaced by drinking, sex, and fornication. Like, ask Jason Voorhees, he will testify. Like, this is what happens at summer camp. Today we look at tits with the Tit Patrol.
Yes.
We look at the cast of some of the top slasher movies. Not Michael Myers, though, he wasn't invited. We dive back into the crazy world of camp life with a twist. Let's get stuck into what is potentially going to be one of the wildest movies we cover this year. Sleepaway Camp 2, Unhappy Camp.
Yes, Queen! Slay! Slay! Slay your enemies! Ruler of one of the realms of men! Smite down those that oppose you!
Love that.
Oh, man, like, this was an absolute fucking delight from start to finish.
Mate, I can't believe I have slept on this movie for as long as I have. I genuinely cannot. This is a first watch for me. This is the first time I'd ever seen Sleepaway Camp 2. And honestly, man, I'm gutted and disappointed in myself that I watched it for the first time 3 days ago. I think I've watched it twice since my initial watch. I liked it that much, and each time I watched it, I was still just as entertained. I thought this movie was fucking brilliant, man.
It really is, and I'm going to say it now. If we went to summer camp at this age, you and me would be Tit Patrol, without a doubt.
Yeah. I think that might come with some sort of prison sentence these days. So
Yeah, we definitely can't do it now. And like, the people in this movie, the cast in this movie are really young. Like, especially like some of the boys in particular, some of the boys that are in sex scenes are not actually legal age, and they use stunt doubles for their bodies because they weren't old enough. Yeah, they weren't old enough to have a half-naked woman writhe on top of them. And when you look at that, and I read that, I was like, there's something very like grimy about that I don't know if I like it.
Man, I'll choose to ignore it. This movie's fucking great.
It really is. So like it kicks off at the new camp, which is Camp Rolling Hills, and I love this. I love the fact they used exactly the same fucking camp and made no attempt to change anything or make it look any different apart from their jumpers. That's it.
So what is the time difference in terms of sequels? Do you know when did this one come out?
I don't know when this one came out in comparison to the first one. I know the time gap in the movie is 5 years.
Yeah, but I'm just curious about the release because, like, this movie looks like it came out in the 2000s. Like, it doesn't feel like a... Let me have a Google because I feel like I need to know in order to... I should have done this before we started recording, really. Sleepaway Camp 2 came out in... This is a 1988 movie. But it feels to me like one of those straight to VHS blockbuster movies that I watched in the early 2000s, late 90s.
Yeah.
Like it's worlds away from the original movie in terms of like overall production quality and tone and things like that. Like if you'd have told me this was released in the early 90s, I would 100. I mean, I know it's only a couple of years out in terms of being 88, but like this must have been one of the first ones of that era to have this cheesy B movie aesthetic to it, and the quality that comes with it in terms of its overall production values and things. I mean, I watched this in two different contrasts because I own this on VHS, so I watched the VHS version second, but I also watched the Blu-ray rip of it first. And I was like, bloody hell, man! Like they left it 20 years before they did a sequel to Sleepaway Camp, but no, this is 88, man, and it's wild how good this movie looks to this day still.
Yeah, it looks really, really good. The one thing that irritated me a little bit is like we find out that Angela is the camp counselor. I really wish they'd kept that as a reveal. They just had the bitch counselor, and then they reveal later that it was Angela. But it's like in the first 2 seconds, like, hi, this is your camp counselor, Angela. I was like, you missed an opportunity there to give us like a big I am your father reveal fucking later in the movie.
Yeah, I wasn't bothered by that at all. In fact, I kind of appreciated the fact that I was like, yeah, this is the kind of movie we're making. This is what you're getting, and we are going with it from the off. Because they do. There's no like Friday the 13th hiding behind the bushes, no killer reveal at the end. You know, it just is what it is, and I love it for that. You know, I love how on the nose and how open it is from the start. And I think for me, I think that's what made my enjoyment of it all the more better, because I was like, this is a ride. Give me 2 tickets. You know, it was great.
Yeah. And do you know what really like caught me off guard? Like I expected there to be boobs in this movie, but I did not expect there to be so much gratuitous tit from like 3 minutes in, and it's like every 6 minutes there is a pair of boobs on screen, and I'm sat at home and I'm just sat there going,
look at that, there's boobies on my TV.
It was awesome, man. It was awesome. It's everything. When I come on this podcast and I tell you how much I like B-movie horror and straight to DVD slasher movies, this is the movie I am talking about. This is the kind of thing. These are the undiscovered gems that I watch, and I'm like, oh, mate, did you see fucking Camp Hellfire 2.678? Straight to DVD. It's called that, but it doesn't have an original. It doesn't have a sequel. Like, these are the kind of movies that I discover on VHS, and I'm there and I'm watching it. I'm like, fuck, this is awesome. And this is a sequel to one of the most well-known horror movies of probably all time, especially in terms of its twist ending. And I've just slept on it for all these years, man. And it's just catered to me in every single way, and I can't believe it.
Yeah, and one thing this does very similar to the original is it makes a point of giving each of the individual members of the camp, they're not just generic victims. It gives each single member of that camp their own unique persona. So you've got the jock guy who is a bit of a wet blanket. Then you've got his mate who shags everything. Then you've got the the two sisters who are just stoner alcoholics. At one point, chugging a bottle of Mad Dog 2020, which is just mental because
I've never experienced Mad Dog 2020.
So Mad Dog. So when Mad Dog was a big thing, you were probably still in like I don't know junior school. But Mad Dog
Showing
was
your own age, mate. This is an insult on you, not me.
I'm fine with this. Mad Dog was a spirit / I don't know what it was. It comes. Put it this way: they called it Mad Dog 2020 to call your drink that, and they had like kiwi and strawberry, and they had like 3 or 4 different flavors that were all fucking disgusting. It tasted like paint thinner, come in a big thick glass bottle, but it was cheap. When I say cheap, it was like £6 for a big fucking bottle of this stuff. And it was like rocket fuel. You drink like half a bottle in 2 minutes because it was like fruit juice with really horrible aftertaste. The rest
we
of
had one like that when I was growing up. I can't think what it was. I want to say absinthe, but I think that was the one that tasted like blackjacks. There was like another one like that, and
absinthe was the green fairy. Absinthe is the one that really fucks you up. I've got a bottle.
Yeah, it tasted like aniseed balls.
Yeah, absinthe is awful.
Yeah, it wasn't that then, but it was like something like that where it came in like you get like a green one, and I'm not talking like WKDs. It was like a green one and like a pink one, and it was like 40% vodka but tasted like fruit shoot.
Yeah, and that's what Mad Dog was. And when they were chugging on it, I literally paused it and went. I paused it and done the old man thing where I like got closer to the stream going. That's a bottle of MD 2020, and then like had flashbacks, like Vietnam flashbacks of being a teenager, passed out in a field with like people trying to get me home. Like,
well, yeah, because we was watching this in synchronization, and he was like, Mad Dog, no, MD 2020. I was like, what? What are you talking about? Have I missed something?
But all the characters have their own unique twist, which makes them easier to like, and it makes them easier to attach to a character and like follow that character through because they all have their own little stories going on. And the one that I actually attached to the most that I didn't think I was going to is the bitchy girl, the one who's always got her tits out. And that's not the reason I attached to her.
I loved her. Ali, I think her name was.
Yeah, she's a really likable character. And I don't think she should have died. She should have been the final girl, not the fucking wet wipe we got as the final girl.
No, I completely agree with you on that. I think she was fantastic throughout this movie. Very, very attractive woman, by the way. She reminded me of, I can't think of the actress's name, and I even tried Googling it to try and find out. There's a woman that looks like Meg Ryan and Jodie Foster combined, and she's a really popular actress. She's been on like episodes of Friends and stuff like that, and she looks identical to Ali to the point where I was convinced it was the same actress when she was younger. I'm sure there's going to be plenty of people messaging in and being like, oh, it's this actress. That's who you're referring to. Dave, I'm expecting you to come up trumps on this one. But there's an actress, an American actress, and I can't think of her name. She's on Friends. She looks like Jodie Foster, somewhere in between. But,
I have no idea who you're on about.
I'll find it before the episode comes out because it's going to bugbear me anyway. So I'll have to know who I mean. So before this episode comes out, I will send you who it is and you can share it. But it just reminded me of her all the way through. But she's fucking gorgeous in this film, man.
Yeah, and she's so good. Like Angela in this is an absolute bitch.
Can I help you, bitch?
Like the worst of the worst. Every time she speaks, I'm like, oh, just fuck off. Like, just fuck off and leave these kids alone. She's like, well, I found you with the boys. I just fucking go away.
Yeah.
You miserable fucking horrible bitch. Leave them alone. And even the other camp counselor, fucking Mr. Mullet, fucking business in the front, party in the back, TC.
Loved him.
He is the camp counselor you want. Like, there's a bit where all the girls are in the boys' dorm stealing their jock straps, and he opens the door. There's fucking half naked like boys and girls everywhere, and he just closes the door and goes, "Shout me when it's over." Just goes back to watching his TV. I'm like, that's the camp counselor.
But again, like they do that contrast thing of having the whole situation happen first in Angela's dorm.
Yeah,
she just loses her shit, and then the girls then go from there to the boys' dorm and do the same thing in Roddy Piper's just like, yeah, man, whatever, just fucking let me know when it's over.
Yeah, exactly that. And we get a kill in this, like almost immediately. This is where Angela finds one of the girls. She sat around a campfire with another camp counselor. I'm going to add that, telling ghost stories.
Yes.
And they're telling the story of Sleepaway Camp and the girl who then went to a mental institute and she had a full sex change. Like they do the whole story and explain how Angela is how she is now.
Yeah.
Angela turns up and like, you're a disgrace. And then like, let's go. And as she's marched her back, she's like, you're such a slut. You're such a slut. And I'm like, fucking bit fucking strong, isn't it? And then the next thing, she's fucking killed her. I'm like, wow. Like, that was unnecessary.
And the kills in this are fucking awesome, man. The practical effects are so on the nose and cheesy that I loved every moment of them.
Yeah.
But I always thought this would be a really hard episode to discuss because it is literally just a kill for kill movie. In terms of plot progression, you get minor subplots, but only really to sort of move Angela's objective. Yeah, it's just kill after kill after kill after kill. Like, this has more kills in it than most Scream movies. You know, like, it is literally every scene is just, you get introduced to such a wide variety of cast members very early on, but at least halfway through the movie, all of them are dead.
The thing is, I love Angela's like after the first kill, she's like goes up to the guy who runs the camp. Like I can't think what his name is, Uncle Pervert.
John, I think Uncle John or something like that.
Yeah, if you are an old man and you run a summer camp and you're getting everyone to call you Uncle anything, you should be on a register. Like that's the vibe I got from him. She's like, oh yeah, she was really disrespectful and broke all the rules, so I had to send her home. And he's like, oh, well, that's a shame. If you could not do that next time, that'd be great. And then like 10 minutes later, she's found the two like stoner girls drinking Mad Dog 2020. What fucking, one of them's passed out, the other one isn't, so she bonks her on the head with a fucking great big bit of wood. The next thing, like, you see her come to, her sister's been burnt to a crisp in front of her, and then Angela burns her alive. Like, it's awesome. The most, yeah, but it's the fact she's like, please don't do this to me, and Angela's like, you should have thought of that before you were drinking in the woods. I'm like, oh, you're such a dick. Like,
I mean, you say about the Angela thing, we don't actually find out her name is Angela to about 20 minutes into the movie. She's already killed like 17 people by this point.
She is just like relentless. And the question that popped up in my head is, at what point did she think she'd get away with like burning people alive in the forest and then going, yeah, I had to send them home? At what point did she think that like that wasn't going to come back and bite her in the ass at some point in the near future? I
don't think she did.
No?
I don't think she did. No, I think she just saw it as, I'm going to kill everybody at this camp and get away with it for as long as I can before moving on to the next one.
Do you think if they all behaved, she wouldn't have killed them all?
No, I think she would have found an excuse either way to take them out. Because she does some of them by some of the most ridiculously minute things possible in order to get them. You know, like one of them, what was the one where she takes in the car and kills with the drill? She literally flashed her boobs. Like literally a quick flash. And that was like execution worthy. And I was like, okay, you're nitpicking now.
Yeah, that was where they're in stealing the jock straps, and Angela opens the door, and as she opens the door, this girl turns around and she's got her tits out. And Angela's like, you come with me. And takes her for a drive into the forest, like taking a dog out and letting it out into the wild. She takes this poor girl out into the forest, pulls over. She's like, what are you doing? And then the next thing, Angela's got a drill at her temple going, nothing. Die, bitch, die.
And I think the thing about this whole thing is how Angela is just so nonchalant about everything. Nonchalant about the kills. The kills are not like aggressive in any way. They're not like, die, bitch, I'm gonna fucking kill. You know, like everything is just so blasé, and the hills are alive with the sound of music as she's doing it. It's just, it's jarring as fuck, man, when you're watching it. It's really sort of like an odd experience to watch this movie and see this killer executing people in such a violent way. and her just sort of like whistling in her own head while she's doing it.
Yeah, and she is ruthless, like American Psycho, Patrick Bateman level of violence and brutality with no emotion. It's a true psychotic character. And for a movie of this kind of quality and production, like I did not expect that kind of depth to the Angela character, but she is a pure psycho. She has no remorse for what she does. She has no emotion whatsoever. And it's a really cool element. I do like the subplot between, what's the main bitchy girl's name again? And
Ali.
Like her subplot of wanting to get the jock guy who's kind of latched on to the final girl who I'm not really happy with.
Molly,
like her,
I think her name was.
Yeah. Her quest to get him, and in the process of trying to get to him, gets bored and has sex in the forest with that guy. That sex scene in the forest is fucking hilarious. I laughed my ass off. She's like going at it, like she's proper, like fucking.
We're talking about engaging in sex acts.
Like she's giving it everything she's got, and then he's like, and she gets off. She's like, oh, thanks for that. Pulls all her clothes off and goes back to the cabin where she finds a note that's been written by Angela, like, meet me at this location from the boy. The bit that cracked me up the most is she's walking through the forest. We've seen this note, and this note says, meet me at the abandoned cabin, love, douchey final boy.
Yeah.
When she's walking through the forest, she opens this up and looks at it like a map. And I couldn't stop fucking laughing because she's reading the note. It's got no directions, no instructions, no map whatsoever. And she opens it, stares at it, looks around to work out where she's going, folds it back up, laughs, and then skips off into the forest. I was doubled up. And I don't know if it's a production fuck up where they're like, oh yeah, she's got a map. And then like no one clicked that it was just a note. But she genuinely opens it and does like this orienteering, like hand across the top of her eyes, look up to the hills. It's that way from a letter that said, meet me at the cabin.
I mean, the thing is, this movie is branded as a horror comedy. Like it is categorized as horror comedy, and it doesn't necessarily play out as a standardized horror comedy, in my opinion. There are certainly elements to it that are hysterical, whether they're intentional or not. I think the only really one quippy joke that made me laugh was when Angela was having the conversation with the other camp counselor, and he's like, oh yeah, I'll call you later. He's like, how? I don't have a phone. Like, I know I misread it, but in the moment it was a very funny line, and for me that was probably the only really sense of humor that was intentional throughout this film. So I don't know whether this was played as a serious sequel and then people have watched it and like, yeah, that's funny as fuck, and the guy who made the movies just rolled with it.
Everyone went, that's hilarious. He went, exactly. Like,
best
horror comedy of the year. I also like the fact that Angela gets outsmarted numerous times. Like, it doesn't portray her as this perfect killing machine. Like when Ali's shagging the guy in the bathroom and Angela turns up and Ali's like, oh, I've got stomach cramps. I'll open the door. And she opens the door. You had stomach cramps last week. And Ali's like, don't know what to tell you. Like, women's troubles, shit happens. Like, I've got it twice. What do you want me to say? And then like walks away, and I'm like, yeah, good for you. And Anne just sort of like, oh. But the crowning moment of this is the boys going to scare.
Do you know what? Actually, sorry, man, but in that moment, like, do you think that was an intentional thing that they've said because she wouldn't understand?
I don't know if they put that level of depth of thought into this, because one of the things they do in this that I don't particularly like is in the first one, Angela is not a trans character. She is a character who has been oppressed and forced into and in this one, she's gone. That
movie's purely based on childhood trauma, you know, and a lot of people who discuss that movie as it's a trans movie, and
I don't think it is. No.
It's about repression and childhood trauma. That's what that movie is about.
And then this movie, they kind of backtrack on all of that because she's now gone through a full transition surgery, like it was what she always intended. And that kind of unpicks some of the integrity of the first movie because that's not what they were trying to portray. But I
agreed.
don't know if because they done that to fit their new narrative, I don't think they gave enough thought into that scene. But yeah, if they'd have put thought into it, it could have been very much like a she doesn't get it. But I think that was accident as opposed to by design.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think I'm probably just thinking on it on that sort of level because of this tonal shift of the movie itself, you know, and it's like coming off the back of the first film into this and then having moments like that. I'm looking for those moments. I'm looking for those instances.
Yeah.
And I suppose that's probably the only one that I could grasp at as being an inkling to it.
They tread a very fine line with copyright theft in this movie. A fucking very fine line.
Well, yeah, I mean, we spoke about this off the air. This movie is called Nightmare Vacation here in the UK, and the cover for it itself, I'd never seen the movie, but I own a copy of it on VHS, and I bought it, and I bought the sequel that comes with it. And one thing that always blew my mind, and I never understood, is that on the front of that VHS copy is Leatherface, Jason, and Freddy Krueger. And I'm like, why the fuck are those characters on the front of this movie? I don't get what's going on here. Never watched it up until the point where we needed to for the podcast, obviously, and now it all makes sense based on this scene alone.
Yeah, and they do such a good job in this scene. So the boys dress up as Jason Voorhees and Freddy Krueger to go. They're going to scare Angela, aren't they? That's their plan.
Yeah.
So they're going to scare
the Leatherface
Angela.
mask they use is fucking awesome as well, by the way. Better than most of the actual Leatherface mask movies.
So they're going to scare Angela, but Angela's aware and has heard through the grapevine that they're coming to get her. So then dresses up as Leatherface and butchers them. But I'm going to say, like, the mask they chose for Jason, that hockey mask looks better than many of the Jason Voorhees hockey masks they've used in the franchise. Like that wrap around the side, like the proper goalie mask looks fucking awesome.
Yeah, they use that in Bloody Murder. It's the same mask they use in Bloody Murder. It's fucking awesome in that movie as well. I love this scene. I love the on the nose sort of kill with the Freddy Krueger glove and again with the machete. Yeah, I mean, it's fucking awesome, man. And then she's there later on with the chainsaw trying to get it started outside the bathroom before she goes, because she intentionally goes to kill Ali in that instance and she can't get the chainsaw working, so she just bangs on the door.
What got
and then
me
Ali
thinking
gets
in
away in that moment.
When she's doing the chainsaw outside, I could be wrong, but I'm going to say that was inspiration for Terrifier 3. Damien Leone completed that scene in the shower block that we never got.
Oh, yes, of course.
Sleepaway Camp 2. Like, and I think this movie, had they written this slightly different, that's the way they would have gone with this. She would have gone in and chainsawed straight through the pair of them. Yeah,
if the budget had probably allowed for that kind of kill.
Yeah. Just be fair, that all the kills in this are good. They're all very, very simple. But like the Freddy one, great. Instant nod to A Nightmare on Elm Street. And even all the mannerisms, like the guy who's dressed as Freddy, like his mannerisms as Freddy, he actually put effort into that to be like Robert Englund. And I thought that was really cool.
Yeah. I mean, this scene, I mean, this is 1988. When this came out, this would have been like our version of Bride of Chucky, when you get that opening morgue scene where you're seeing all these scenes and these killers and things like that. Like, I don't know whether I'm assuming this didn't come out to theaters and stuff, and it was just
I think it got a very, very limited theatrical release, if it got one at all. Very limited.
Like, what month are we even in now? I have no idea where we are in terms of context of the show.
We're in June. We're in straight to streaming month, I think.
Right, so this is a straight to VHS pick then. So I'm assuming it didn't get a theatrical release.
It may have had a very tiny one, and we bent the rules slightly to get it in the poll. But hey.
All right, okay, I can ride with that.
But yeah, like, I love all the fact they've done that. I also like the story with Angela, and like when everything starts closing in on her. I think this is very cool as well. Like the scene where she goes in and there's like only 2 girls left, and she's like, "Night. I hope you all understand. I had to send everyone home because they were bad." And you're like, "You're the worst camp counselor ever." Like, not only have you killed loads of people, but the ones who are left who are behaving now have the shittest camp ever because there's just two of them. Just like,
Yeah.
good, you had a good day? Yes, all right. We've not been able to do any activities today because all of them need more than two people, but it's been all right.
I like the way that things start to unfold for Angela at this point as well, because they get to, I can't remember the name of the girl who comes in. She's like, "Oh, so you sent the sisters home, and I kind of miss them, so I decided to call them at their house." And it turns out that their mother still thinks they're still here. And this is a girl who's like rambling and rambling and rambling about what's happened, and then how she thought, "Oh, well, I best leave it." And Angela's like, "Yeah, it's best not to cause trouble." And she gets up out of the chair at the moment. And then she keeps going on and on and on. And this entire scene, Angela's just walking around this log cabin trying to find various weapons that might kill her. And I was just like, this is just perfect. And eventually lands on the guitar string and just strangles her out with it. I was like, this is such a cool scene.
She's strong as fuck, though, to pull that guitar string straight off with one hand. Like, you and me both play guitar, or both can play guitar. I know how difficult it is to restring a guitar, and when you try, well, if a string snaps, trying to get the string that's still attached at both ends completely off is not just a case of get hold of it and give it a yank and you've got it. Like, it takes effort. But she literally picks it up, rips it straight off with one hand, round the neck, and chokes her to the floor. I like Angela in this, and I know I'm not meant to. But I don't.
The thing is, I don't know if you are not meant to. And that's the angle I think this movie is good. Yeah, I think this movie is kind of pushing her as the lead in a way. They open up with her being the killer. They showcase her from the beginning, and they do various things throughout that make you not necessarily go, "Yeah, you're fair enough. You're doing the right thing," but like, because of the events of the first movie, you empathize with her trauma going into the second movie, and you understand the reasoning behind the mindset that she has going in. Because she was so heavily mistreated in that first movie, you kind of like, yeah, I get why you're the way you are and why you're doing the things you're doing. And some of the characters in this film throughout are such assholes. It's like, meh, all right, fair enough, I get it.
The toilet kill was unnecessary. The way she killed,
I love that kill so much.
Oh, it's so disgusting. She's like, "Look down there. What do you see?" She's like, "I see shit." She's like, "What else do you see?" She's like, "I don't know." "Well, I'm gonna throw you down there to find out." It's leeches, and then she's like using this stick and like plunging her into the toilet the way you'd declog a toilet till she dies.
I think Ali deserved better in that instance. I'm going to be honest with you. I liked her character a lot, and I feel like she deserved a better ending than what she got. But I do like the kill. My favorite thing about this entire movie is the whole Texas Chainsaw Massacre-esque kill room she has at the end, where she's displayed all the bodies, and you get the sort of, it's the Michael Myers-esque thing. I know Myers didn't get his shining moment with the character nod, but you get the Myers kill setup at the end where they're all in certain positions and sort of like as if they're part of the furniture, which was really cool.
It's after she's killed TC, and again, he's another character I didn't want to die. I like TC, like he was the cool mullet guy. He didn't deserve to die. But where she's got like that, what is our final girl? And she's like, "But I'm just going to nip out for a second." While she goes to deal with TC, she's like, "You just sit here and have a chat with your friends." I'm like, "Oh, that's cold." Like, all of her friends dead and like missing limbs and covered in shit.
Her boyfriend in the TV was the best one.
Yeah. Oh, look.
It's like, oh, look, he's on TV. That was really cool. The thing that really straight away, I was like, if you don't execute this right, this movie's going to piss me off. But she was like tied up. And like, I looked at it, I was like, okay, you can clearly untie that knot. And if you don't, this movie's going to annoy me. And she immediately untied it. I was like, oh, thank fuck for that. Like, there's a lot of things I can digest, but you not being able to escape this would have been one of them that would have tipped me over the edge, I think.
Yeah, and her little chase scene with Angela, like they get to, so I'm harking back to In a Violent Nature. So In a Violent Nature, the girl runs away, the yoga girl just stands on the cliff edge, doesn't do anything, but it was just a hill. In this, we get the same, But this is actually a cliff edge, and she can't get down it safely without breaking an ankle. So I buy the fact that she had nowhere to go.
Fuck a cliff edge, mate. It's like a meter deep. When she looks down and she's just fallen onto the rock, she's literally fallen off a curb.
I thought it was higher than that.
No, it's not, mate. I've watched it 3 times this week, and every time I watched it, I'm like, Angela, you've been great up until this point. She's literally fallen off a curb, and you've accepted that she's dead. You're better than this.
It was the fact that when she hit her head, Angela looked down. She went, "Oh well, I had high hopes for you. Never mind." And then just like,
yeah, she was like, "What did she say?" She's like, "Oh, you almost made it to the end."
Yeah, you almost got into the sequel, nearly. But she's not dead, and her frantic running through the forest. And by this time, Angela's fucking killed everybody at the camp. She killed the tip patrol, which was completely unnecessary. They'd done nothing wrong.
Definitely.
Saying that though, the fact they were taking photos of everyone and they get caught, and Angela flicks through those photos, I thought that was one of the funniest scenes ever. And they'd photographed Angela as well. Yeah,
and it's like, oh shit, is Angela in there?
Yeah, Angela's in there. I was like, oh man. I like the whole premise of this movie that she's just on a killing spree works for me. And I don't care that there's very little development between kill to kill. We have a kill, we have a bit of story to get the characters where we need them for Angela to have another kill. And all of the kills are great, and it ramps up the tension. I wish we saw the aftermath of her massacre at the camp. I wish we'd seen her sort of come back after throwing the girl off the little cliff and saw that full on, because that must have been a rage-filled massacre for the destruction.
Yeah, kind of and kind of not. I think like the people like Uncle John and the people in his office, I feel like they died there and then in the moment when she got fired. I don't feel like she went back and did them later on. Do you know when she came out crying halfway through the movie? It's like, oh, I was camp counselor of the week 2 days ago, and now I've been fired. I feel like she just rage exploded there and killed those two. I feel like the boys, she probably got them earlier on as well. So I feel like everything has a steady progression throughout the movie. And although we get the reveal of all the people that she's killed along the way other than the ones we've seen on screen, I don't think it was like she went back and massacred them all after Molly fell off the cliff. I feel like they'd already been done sporadically throughout the movie, but we just didn't see them there and then at that moment. But it's like the ending's wild. So the thing is, you talk about this movie and it's like there's not a lot of plot progression. There isn't. It's literally a kill for kill movie. The kills are fantastic throughout. So you don't begrudge the fact that there isn't much story development in between, because the story development that happens it's just a beat for beat kind of moment, funny situation. You get the scene where you've got the campfire song where they're all singing in the dinner hall, and then you get boobs, and then you get a kill.
That's so uncomfortable, that scene. Can you join me up on stage? We're going to sing the summer camp Like, we don't have summer camps here, or if we do, I definitely never went to one.
I never went to any.
Any listeners in the US who've actually been sent to a summer camp, please call in and tell me if it's like this, because in my head, genuinely, American summer camps are just this unhinged fuckfest of teenage people just being teenage people, where counselors don't give a fuck. Like, this depiction of this camp, take the killing out, is exactly how I picture summer camp is in the United States. This is how I see it.
It's the pretentiousness and the falseness of it all that I don't understand. Like, surely, I think that's one thing that this movie does really well, is like the campers themselves are very normalized people, but like the counselors throughout this movie are so over the top. And I'm like, man, that must be so exhausting to be that person all day, every day, to entertain these children. On a night, you must just switch off and get stoned or drink lots of beer or whatever the hell you need to do to shake the facade that you've been holding all day.
Yeah, or if you're Uncle John, you're there just asking young girls this question.
You have hair in your special place.
Because he's definitely a dog. dodgy character. Also, I've been watching a lot of House recently, and I needed to get a Hugh Laurie voice drop in there.
Oh, I need to watch House, man. I saw a reel on Facebook the other day where House went to prison. Are you there yet?
Yeah, we've watched the series through once already. This is a revisit. I love House.
Yeah, I feel like I need to, man. I need to watch that.
He is the biggest arsehole on the face of the earth. Like, forget any arsehole you've seen in any other movie. He makes them look like a really friendly guy. He's a massive junkie, addicted, like popping Vicodin like they're Skittles. But he's so amazingly brilliant at his job. He's almost untouchable. He can't be fired because every time like he gets in trouble or he does something that's illegal, he's right. And what he's done has saved the patient. And you're like, oh, you're the fucking man. And like, he doesn't give a fuck. So like midway through, I can't remember what season it is, but he basically fucking sacks everyone. And then he employs 30 interns. And his boss goes fucking apeshit. And he's like, look, these 30 interns cost less than the 3 doctors we had. Over the next 3 months, I'm going to whittle them down to 3. And then I'm going to pay them less than you were being paid before. So how about you stop giving me a fucking hard time and let me do my job? And you're like, you know what? Fair play to you. He's so cool. Best character on television. I'd love them to bring that back.
And
I'm
going to start House.
Yeah, literally 3 episodes in, you'll be like, he's my idol. I want to be like him at work all the time.
How many seasons is it? Am I like in for like the long haul?
6.
Is it an American thing where it's like got 24 episodes a season?
21 or 22 per season. It's really easy watching though. It's really easy. It's really easy watching because it's very much like every episode is its own thing. You could pick up an episode from any season and just watch it. But there's a through narrative with all the characters that kind of plays in and around each week's ridiculous medical scenario. It's really cool. Yeah. I really like it. And I like the fact that all the cases they use, all the medical cases they use are actual medical cases, and they use proper diagnosis. It was very accurate. Yeah, really, really cool. Anyway, we are going. I'll just go bring us back.
Man, you shouldn't use that.
And I'm really hoping now that someone had their car window open and they're, I don't know, parked outside of school, dropping their kids off or something, and that just blared out of their car, because that will give me a sense of satisfaction that you'll never understand, because I think that's hilarious. Ended in this movie, the twist in Sleepaway Camp is arguably the best twist in all of horror. Yeah, the twist ending in this, I was kind of like, it's okay.
What's the twist ending in this? There isn't a twist ending, is there?
There is a twist ending in this. She's got herself. She's woken up. She's running away. She's getting away. She sees a car pulling up. She's like, I'm saved. I'm saved. And then she walks round to the side window, and the window winds down, and it's Angela who's like, hi there. Like,
she's howdy campers.
Howdy camper. Happy campers. Like, I don't know. I felt the ending of this, it just, based on what the first one gave us, the end of this needed to be something a bit more impactful. I just felt a bit like,
I'll be honest with you, I didn't expect anything from the ending at all. So like, I wasn't underwhelmed by that at all. For me, it was one of those where like, I would have liked to have seen her either kill her or her kill Angela. Yeah. But I wasn't like expecting any kind of twist or any kind of sort of intelligent script writing at this point.
Yeah. Is there anything else you want to dive into before we go into recommended account?
No, I've got nothing else really to say about this movie that I don't want to say now before my roundup. And again, I am stalling so I can find my recommended account of the week.
And get fucked in the ass by an angry moose.
So this week's recommended account of the week is Fake Goosebumps on Instagram. Fake Goosebumps on Instagram.
Drunk already, aren't you, buddy?
Yeah, I'm getting that word. Fake Goosebumps is an account that basically takes the standardized Goosebumps book cover image, but then redesigns them, redraws them, adds interesting cover notes, and then it's like one's like, "Hooray, the Leviathan is here," and it's got like this big H.R.R. Geiger sort of. It's hard for me to describe the way that this account is. If you're a Goosebumps fan and you see this account, you'll be like, "Oh, that's really clever," or "That's really entertaining," and they are not necessarily Goosebumps stories, but do incorporate stuff that's sort of like modern day relevance, but then put onto the cover of a Goosebumps story. I think there's a lot of people out there who get enjoyment from this account, so I encourage you to all go out there and check out Fake Goosebumps on Instagram, and as always, let them know the You Run podcast sent you there.
Spiral swirly thing. Shenanigans like this are par for the course at Fans of the Dead. Whether it's reviewing a brand new horror movie every single month or taking you on a deep dive tangent into something related to the horror world, Fans of the Dead is the place to go for fun, entertainment and laughter.
He's part of that family, like, you know, not wanting to be.
Kind of his fault.
And he's kind of saying, like, stay on the road, stay safe.
The Horror Friendly Podcast is a podcast with bite. Hosted by Katie and Chantel, this is full of banter, full of jibes, full of laughs, and full of alcohol. And bad language. This show literally has everything you could possibly desire as a horror fan. For these and many other entertaining shows, head over to yourunpodcast.com. Check them out today. So make sure you check out Mark's recommended account of the week. Mark says, let them know we sent you there. Please do that, because that benefits us as well as them. We're giving them a shout out. They see it's us. They come look at our show. They're like, oh, those guys are cool. I might listen. They listen. They like us. They tell their friends. We grow. Like, everyone wins. And all it takes for you is to look at a cool account. Like, it's a win-win-win-win-win. Also, check out yourunpodcast.com, where you'll find all of the members of the You Run Podcast Network. You'll also find links to all of our social media. You'll find links to our shop, where you can buy really cool merchandise. And everything's on yourunpodcast.com. If you don't want to go to a separate website and you just like being on your social media, we are at You Run Podcast on almost every iteration of social media that exists, does exist, will exist, and has existed. Instagram is the place if you want to vote for movies on this show. While you're there, go and find Mark. He's at VHS from the Crypt, where you'll get an absolute smorgasbord showcase of VHS tapes that will unlock your inner 90s child and make them scream with fucking joy. Or Reviews from the Crypt, where he will review B-movie trash like this movie all the time. Like,
it's not
if
trash.
if you like this movie, like, Mark's review account is like, it's like a treasure trove of this movie in every iteration from 1970 to 2020. Like, just go start at the beginning with his first reviews, skip all the popular movies he's done, and just start going through. About a year into Mark's account, he went down this rabbit hole of, I like VHS tapes now. And we had like Slumber Party Massacre 11, Attack of the Killer Dildo. Like, those sorts of movies are what's in there. Don't forget, you can share your opinions on the show, share your opinions on the movies that we talk about. Do that by sending us an email, yourunpodcast@gmail.com, or by sending us an audio DM on Instagram or X, or by recording a TikTok and tagging us in it, and we'll drop that into the episode as well. We want you to support the show, share the show with a friend, leave us a 5-star review on Apple or Spotify, comment on an episode on Spotify or YouTube, and we'll probably read those out as well. And head over to our merch shop at yourunpodcast.com. Coming soon is our Patreon. People have asked for the Patreon, which is absolutely insane to me. I had someone the other day message me like, when is your Patreon ready? Because I really need you.
Shut up and take my money.
Like, I've literally had people go, do your Patreon. I want to subscribe. It's coming. When this episode airs, we're about 3 weeks away. So Patreon is launching, and as soon as it's ready, we'll let you know. Let's do some facts on this movie, because this movie's got some really cool facts. Felissa Rose was asked to return as Angela Baker. She read the script. She didn't like the comic one-liners. She didn't like the fact that they'd changed the narrative for Angela. And she was also preparing to go to college at the time. So she basically went, yeah, I'm going to hard pass this. And I think the woman who done Angela was great.
I thought Pamela Springsteen was fantastic. I would have liked to have seen the consistency of the returning cast, but that's one thing that I always sort of feel it is vital for a sequel. But in this instance, it didn't matter to me at all.
The film was shot in Waco, Georgia, at a campground that was known as Camp Waco. It's a private property, which was a couple of outbuildings and a swimming pool. Now everything is gone apart from one abandoned cabin and a swimming pool. Those are the only things that are left there now. This is the bit I was talking about earlier. So the sex scene with Ali and Rob was Valerie Hartman, and basically the guy was Terry Hobbs. Terry Hobbs was a minor when they filmed this movie. So all of the scenes when you see Ali on top with her boobs out, that was a stunt double, and he had to be removed from set so they weren't exposing him to explicit sexual material, which like that to me is wild, that like they cast someone that young and then like, oh shit, we've written a sex scene. Right, you're out, and you, Mr. Stunt Double, you're in. The stunt double must have been like, yes, it's my time to shine.
Oh man, I would have loved that job.
When TC and Angela are arguing over the pornographic movies, she tells him they should be sent home, and TC replies, "There's no way Uncle John would go for that. Charlie and Emilio have been coming here for years." He's actually referencing real life people. He's referencing Charlie Sheen and Emilio Estevez.
Ah.
Which I thought was really cool. Pointless, but really cool. So Valerie Hartman exposing her breasts throughout this movie was named number 16 in the top 20 gratuitous nude scenes of the 1980s by a website called Flashback. And if you go to this website, it has about 50 photos of Valerie's boobs exposed to show you just how good it was.
I imagine that's a very popular website.
The top 20 countdown is quite enjoyable. I'll send you the link afterwards.
Yeah, please do.
So Pamela Springsteen in this is Bruce Springsteen's sister. However, none of the cast or the crew knew. She didn't tell anyone. It was just a coincidence that her surname was Springsteen, and it didn't come out until several years after the film was released, when it was fans who went, "That's Bruce Springsteen's sister." And then all of a sudden the director and the producer have gone, "Fuck, it is. Why didn't we know?" Because then we'd have gone, "Bruce, could you
advertising campaign.
Could you do the soundtrack for Sleepaway Camp too for your sister?" But they didn't know. She didn't want to trade off of her brother's name, which I think is really cool.
Yeah, it is. It is. I appreciate stuff like that.
Yeah, I do as well. We have a voicemail this week. It's a singular voicemail. Would you like to guess who the voicemail has come from?
It's either Dave or it's Heather.
Okay, well, you're correct on one of those guesses. And where is everybody else? Like all the people who call in, like we've had so many people over the years that call in, and now you're just like taking a back seat and making Dave and Heather do all the work. Like pick up the phone, people. Like ring us. Tell us what you. Because right now I'm calling you all out now. You're all bad. You're all bad fans because you don't call us anymore. This is what Heather had to say.
What's up, happy campers? Super excited to read all these messages and see that you guys are watching Sleepaway Camp 2. I'm so glad it won against any of these other pieces of shit movies. Not that they were. I don't even remember what they were. But I'm so excited because it's going to get you, you're going to go down the rabbit hole of wanting to watch part 3 and the remake. Yep. Part 3 is so fucking bonkers too. It's crazy. I'm super excited, Mark, that you have enjoyed it as much as you have. I knew it would be in your, is it wheelhouse? Yeah. I think Real House. I don't know. Fuck it. Anyway, it's your vibe. I knew that you would love the movie. The fucking practical effects are top tier. My favorite kill is towards the end, and I won't talk about it right now, but later on, message me. Please message me your thoughts, both of y'all. But I'm super excited. And God dang it, I wish I could be on the episode with you guys, because it would be like a 5-hour episode. Okay, bye.
So I didn't actually message Heather at that moment because I couldn't remember. There's so many kills at the end of this film, and I didn't know which one she was talking about, which would be her favorite. So I need to know, Heather, which one was it you were referring to in that message? What was? I have to assume it's the head decapitation one, or the burn to the face with a cup of coffee. I don't know, man. There's so many great ones at the end, isn't there?
There really, really is, and we're both bad because but it was late here, and neither of us went back to Heather and said how much we loved that movie.
No, well, she listened to the episode, and Heather, we love the movie.
We do, and we love you, Heather, too. And also, you'll be back soon, and you'll be back on this show and back on our show, because even though True Crime is still going, for anyone who doesn't know, me and Heather haven't recorded an episode since November last year. Everything that's coming out has been pre-recorded 6 months ago. But when we get to August, it'll be a brand new episode with Heather back, and I'm assuming fully fired up because she hasn't been able to vent on an episode of current affairs for quite a while.
And we're going to bring her back for a Twilight episode.
100% we will. And we'll bring Mary back. We'll bring her back as a duo. I can't remember what's next. Some other crap.
And we've only done 2, haven't we?
Yeah, there's about 25 of those fucking shit movies, but we'll worry about that later. We got loads of messages on Spotify as well that I want to share a few. Dave B Movies, this is on our Jaws episode. One of the funniest episodes ever, but Mark, stop disrespecting Jaws. It's one of the best movies ever, and you did lose. I then got a comment on Jaws versus Deep Blue Sea, where he went back and he went, I had to come back and make sure that Mark did lose. He did. He lost 185-12. Jaws won, which just cracked me up. That not only did he go, he lost, he then doubted himself and went back and listened to confirm.
Hey, the doubt's there, though. The doubt's there. The margins were slim. The margins were very slim between those 2 movies.
They were. Parker, I love this was on our American Werewolf in London. I love listening to a couple of Brits talk about this movie. It gives a unique perspective that us silly Americans wouldn't be able to fully explain. Great episode, guys.
Excellent.
And I know we wanted to kill the Blippy stuff off. However, we got a comment about Blippy. This is from Lady Crisis. She just put, ha, 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 ha. Yes, I knew about Blippy. It's on Google. And this is all about a conversation that I'd had with her, basically saying what made it funny is the fact that Heather didn't know. Like when Heather was like, what did he do? And that he didn't know. That's what made it hilarious. She's like, I knew. It's like, yeah, I'm glad you did. We done a new feature this week, and I don't know why I've done this. And I haven't pre-warned you that I'm doing this, but you're involved in this feature. So there was a bottle of MD 2020 that we spoke about earlier, which was one of these drinks that just sent you to the nether realm. And I thought it would be funny to share some drinking stories. So I'm going to share one of my stories. We then have some listener stories about when they got really drunk. And then at the end, after Mark's had time to have a think, he's going to share a drunken story of his. We're going to start with mine because it contains Mad Dog 2020 and is very relevant to this episode. So when I was very young, we'll say 14, 15-ish, MD 2020 was cool. And everyone drank it, and I drank a lot of it. So a group of us on a Friday I probably drunk half a bottle of this stuff. It's like fucking paint thinner. I passed out in a field, and my friends not wanting me to take me home to my parents because it was the late 80s, early 90s. They knew that meant me getting a slap. They're like, oh, we'll take him back to our house. Because their parents were like these hippie parents who like just didn't give a fuck. So we got taken back there. And while I was sleeping, they thought it'd be very funny to get a black marker pen and drew a massive cock on the side of my face and proceeded to shave off just one of my eyebrows.
Brilliant.
This
is all fuel for me for your stag do. I know exactly what I'm doing now.
So this happened on a Friday. On a Monday, I had to go to school. On a Monday, I went to school with no eyebrow and a faint cock outline on my cheek that didn't come off till the following Wednesday or Thursday. I had like a very red face where I'd scrubbed it so much, like with an old school nail file brush, and there was still this faint outline of a dick on the side of my face. So yeah, that's my Mad Dog story. We put it out to all of you. BP of the Let's Talk Horror channel. Unfortunately, I have too many to tell, but I can tell the worst night was getting my drink spiked and then being convinced that I could carry a 6'6" man for a mile, then running through a phone box and almost getting arrested because I thought a group of emo kids were Japanese people, and I tried fighting them because whatever my drink was spiked with convinced me that I was in Tokyo, and I didn't know how I got there so quick. I had to run away from the police. I woke up in the morning with my shoes on my hand and a bucket of sit next to me that had been put there after carrying me home. My friend found me. I woke up in the morning, couldn't move. There could be more, but this is all the information I was told.
I want to know, at what point of drunkenness do you get to where you're like, yes, let's fight Japanese people?
I don't know. There must be. There is a threshold, I think, and I think BP hit it. Dewey Pod Monster, this is a story that's recent, like really recent. A couple of weeks ago, I took my co-host out drinking for his birthday. Yada, yada, yada. We ended up wearing a tiger mask he produced from absolutely nowhere, hanging out with luchadora wrestlers and sticker tagging part of the neighborhood. That sounds like a wild night. Like, one, where did a tiger mask come from? Two, why were there luchadora wrestlers? And three, what is sticker tagging? Heather did not disappoint. Like, Heather comes across as like, yeah, I'm really sweet. I'm really sweet. I'm from the South. I'm a really nice girl. I wouldn't do anything to her. Heather's got a past, and this is just a glimpse into the decadent, dark lifestyle that Heather led before she became a mother and a wife. In my early 20s, I was casually dating a guy, and he asked me to meet him at a local bar. Once I get there, he was another girl that he claimed was his friend. So I ignored him and decided to drink all the drinks. And
all the drinks.
All the drinks. Well, later on, he wanted to talk to me, and I was intoxicated. I told him to fuck off, stood on a bar stool, spat a Jello shot in his face. He was 6'5". Come to find out, the girl he was with was his girlfriend. Boys are stupid. It was a fun night. I could just see Heather stood on a bar stool.
Yeah.
Look,
Yeah. I feel like if me and Heather ever met after a few drinks, I would be on the leading end of one of those as well.
Yeah, I think you, me, and Heather on a night. We've been on a night out and it ended an absolute disgrace of a mess. You throw Heather into that mix as well. I'm putting 50-50 money on someone's going home in handcuffs, and I'm not sure who. Anyway, now we've heard everyone else's stories. Mark, regale us with a story of alcoholism. I know you have many.
I do have very, very many. So I'm going to break this down to you in three categories. I'm going to start in the very early years of my life, and the first one being when I was a child. I'd gone on a family holiday to Ibiza with my mum, my dad, my sisters, and I wasn't really familiar with drinking at this age. I was only a teen, very early teen at this point. And there was a family staying in the same complex as us. And he was like, oh, we're going to go out and have some drinks. You know, I'll take him with us, and it's fine. We're going to hit a few karaoke bars and stuff. Me being very young and naive, plying me full of drinks. Stupidly, I was like taking on the world like King Kong, necking all of these beers. Now, for me, I am a Pink Panther. So when I hit that point in the evening where I've just reached my limit, I don't say goodbye. I don't say I'm going. I just disappear off into the night, and I just sneak out the back door.
You hear the music. Didin, didin, didin.
It's like, yes, it's my cue card, and I'm like, didin, didin, and I'm gone. And I discovered that I did this very early on in my life because I left in the middle of a Ibiza town, having no idea where I was, having no idea how to get back to my hotel, being very, very, very young. And I fell asleep on the beach to the point where my family, the other family who had took me out that evening in the complex, everybody went wild. I'd gone full Madeline McCann. And yeah, it wasn't until the next morning where I woke up on a beach in the middle of nowhere, still having no idea how to get home. It was an absolute catastrophe. I ruined the holiday, not just for my own family, but for everybody else's family involved in that evening. The second one, which I'm not proud of, is back in my teenage years in the house party days. I'd gone to a house party after being out drinking heavily in the local town. Got back to a house party. Everybody was having a very pleasant evening, and I decided to go full Hulk. Extremely, extremely drunk. And I found a beanbag. Do you know them big puffy beanbags that everybody sits in? It is amazing the volume of tiny polystyrene balls that are contained within that beanbag. Me, being very drunk, very loud and very elaborate, grabbed the beanbag and ripped it.
Oh,
this
mate.
Flooded. I was in the upstairs bedroom when I'd done this. The entire house just rolling down the stairs, rolling into every single room you can imagine, was just covered in tiny polystyrene beans. Not my proudest moment. Everybody went wild. I was a disgrace of the evening. And then the most recent one was when me and you went to the For Love of Horror a couple of years ago. And I decided that I was man enough to take on the hottest spice that was available on one of the stalls there. To which point, I nearly needed an ambulance to take me away.
This is one of the funniest things I've ever seen. So there's a store and it's selling like different hot sauce. It's got like Art the Clown on one, and Mark's like, "Oh yeah, I'll have a bit," and he put a bit on his little Dorito, and instead of doing what you should do, just a tiny bit, he just slathered it on. Took a mouthful. We took about 4 steps away from the stool, and you'd done about 1.5 liters of water, and then you like collapsed onto your hands and knees. Your eyes were watering, your nose was watering, and some random person came over and went, I don't work here, but I'm a paramedic. Is he okay? Is he having a heart attack? I was like, no, he's fine. He's just a dickhead.
He's fine. He's just a dickhead.
That's exactly what I said. And then
that perfectly sums up that moment. I was just being the cleverest cunt on the planet, and I was like, yeah, I like hot stuff. That's nothing, man. 6 or 7 beers in, and just took the biggest spoonful of this hottest of hot sauce you've ever seen. Oh, the instant regret. The instant regret on my face as soon as that touched my lips, man. You must have seen it on my face when I did it.
I did. And the funny thing is, like, you had instant regret, and I was concerned about you, but in amongst the concern, there was just this feel of so much joy of you just there going, I don't know what to do. I need it because that milk. Has anyone got any milk? And I'm like, mate, they serve beer and a fruit shoot and water, and you've got 2 of those in your hand. Drink those.
The most disappointing thing about that event was the fact that you didn't film that. If that was you and you was in such a crippling state as I was in that moment, I would not give a fuck how you were. My instant reaction would be like, ka-ching! And I would have filmed the entire thing.
We hit 20k on Instagram. Had I streamed that live, I reckon we'd be over 100k now.
Oh man, it was memeable to the point where people would be looking back on it now as one of those highlights of meme history. It was bad. It was really bad.
It was funny, really funny. Anyway, that's our stories. That's our listener stories. There are loads more of the stories that I didn't pick. If you go to our Instagram, find the picture of the 2 girls drinking Mad Dog 2020, have a scroll through the comments. There's some serious alcohol issues within our viewership and listener base that I didn't choose. So have a look at those. I struggled to find a game this week, and I wanted to find a game that you played at a campsite. And I finally found one. We're going to play the alphabet game. So this is a game where you need to name movies starting with an A, then a B, then a C, then a D, and see how far you can get through.
We are terrible at this kind of thing.
So we're going to do 2 rounds. The first round is just you go how far you can get through the alphabet in 60 seconds.
Oh, what? We're not taking it in turns like I do A, you do B, I do.
No. You're just doing it straight through, and then you're going to do exactly the same again, but only movies we have covered on this show. And see how far
I don't even remember what we did last week.
I know, which is what makes this so fun. So, are you ready to do just movies A to Z?
I'm going to turn this way because this is where all my VHS collection is, so this is going to be a big help to me.
Well, let's. You got 60 seconds. Tell me when you're ready, and I will pull the trigger.
Let me get my first couple in my brain so I don't look right. Yeah, go on then.
Oh, I've just lost us on the screen. Hold on. What have I done? What have
You done?
We're there.
Oh, that's too big. Whoa.
You ready? You ready?
Yep. Right. Anaconda, Blob, Child's Play, Demons, Evil Dead, F, Friday the 13th, Ghoulies, H, House. Why have I not got no eyes? Why have I not got no eyes in here? A movie with I know what he did last summer. Joyride. I know it's not the name for it in the UK, but I'm going with it. K. Killer Clowns from Outer Space, and that's spelled with a K. Don't come at me. L. Last of not Let Me In. Oh, that is harder than you think.
It's really hard, but you done well. You got to L, which is really
What's
really
that
good.
like? 6 movies in. That's shit.
I'll tell you what we'll do. We'll do it with horror movie characters before we do ones that appeared on the show. Can you do that?
No, definitely not.
But I'll help you. A is Annabelle.
Right, I tell you what, we'll make it better. Right, let's do the characters one, but let's do the alternated version. So yeah, I'll do one, you do one, I'll do one, you do one, because then that gives me breathing space, right?
Okay. Well,
I'll go first. Annabelle.
Should we do it still with the timer?
Yeah. Let's see if we can get to the end.
Okay, right. Go.
Annabelle.
Blade.
Chucky.
Fucking hell. Donnie Darko.
E. Oh, I don't know any with E. Oh. Why am I ruining this game? E. I don't know any with E. Help me out.
Ernest.
Ernest?
Yeah, Ernest Saves Christmas.
Right, you could have said Ernest Saves Halloween, so we could have at least used it in the game, but Ernest Saves Christmas. Right, Ernest Saves Christmas. Ring the buzzer, man. You were no help. You were absolutely no help in that game whatsoever. I thought that if we did a back and forth, me and you could have nailed that together, but you just ruined it.
Well, I'm going to now get you to... I'm not going to put a timer on this. I'm going to get you to do A to Z through ones we've done on the show. There is 3 letters that we haven't covered. No, 4 letters that we haven't covered. And when you get to those, I'll just say skip and you can go on to the next letter and we'll see if you can get all the way through. All of these, we've covered more than 5 movies apart from 2 letters. So we'll start you off with A.
Anaconda.
Correct. B.
We haven't done a Blade movie. B. Beetlejuice.
Yep. C.
Child's Play.
Yep. D.
D. What have we done? That's D. Deep Blue Sea. Does that count?
We haven't covered Deep Blue Sea because it was on a crossover episode. Think streaming services.
That doesn't help. Doesn't help.
Think streamer.
Def Cam, not Def Cam. The one with the guy doing the camera thing.
Or think religious. Ben Affleck, Matt Damon.
Oh, Dogma.
Yeah.
Evil Dead. It's one of them we've done.
We've done Evil Dead and Evil Dead 2 and Evil Dead Rise. F.
We've done a Friday the 13th. No, we haven't. We haven't done a Friday the 13th movie yet.
We have. We've done number 2 and we've done Final Chapter. So yeah, I'll give you that. G.
G. What have we done? That's G.
Think Full Moon Pictures.
Ooh. I wanted to say Castle Freak, but we no, that was a recent one. Castle.
Or don't think that. And
Gingerbread Man. Gingerdead Man.
Gingerdead Man. Yeah, could have also had Get Out, Ghostbusters, because we've done Ghostbusters, Frozen Empire. H.
Not Ghostbusters movie. Halloween.
We've done many Halloween.
Yeah.
I.
I'm Iron Man. Oh, that's a hard one. I know what you did last summer.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, but it's a bit of a cop.
We've also done It 2019, Idle Hands, In a Violent Nature, and Immaculate.
Okay, no,
Jay,
like that. Is this not a pass letter? 2 weeks ago. What did we do 2 weeks ago?
Shark movie sequel.
Oh, Jaws 2. Jaws 2.
Fucking hell. K.
Killer Clowns from Outer Space.
Yeah, could have also had Killer Condom or Krampus. L.
I keep looking over to my VHS. I was going to say Urban Legend then, but that's the after letter. L. Give me a clue because I'm struggling here.
I think Short Person.
Leprechaun.
Yeah, done Leopard
in the Hood.
M.
We must have done plenty of M movies. Surely to God. Misery. No, we haven't done Misery yet, have we?
I've done Misery.
Monster Squad. Monster Squad.
Yeah, done Monster Squad. Maxine, The Mummy, Megan. N.
Nightmare on Elm Street 2.
Yeah, I'll give you that. We kicked the year off it as well. You could have had Nosferatu. O. There's only one for O that we done. It was a special where we interviewed the director.
Ooh.
It was a cosmic horror movie.
Yes. What was the name of that movie? Came out on Amazon Prime. Old Gods.
Yeah, close enough. It was Older Gods. P.
I
think a couple of weeks ago we had a guest on for it.
Predator 2.
There you go. Could have also had Psycho, Poltergeist, People Under the Stairs, Prey, Pet Sematary, Pearl. Done loads.
Oh yeah, so there's plenty to go out there then.
Yeah. Done nothing for Q. R.
Resident Evil.
Yeah, Resident Evil, Wreck, Renfield, Rocky Horror. S.
Sharknado, obviously.
Yeah, Joe, we've covered more S movies than anything else. 23 since the show began.
We really?
Yeah.
But yeah, Screams.
Shaun of the Dead, Seed of Chucky, Sharknado, Silent Hill 7, Sleepy Hollow, The Shining, Sleepaway Camp, Smile. Like the list just goes on for fucking ever. T also covered loads of these.
Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Yeah. Terrifier movies, Twilight, Terminator. You, there's only one for you.
Ooh.
You mentioned it earlier. It's a slasher.
Oh, Urban Legend. Yes.
Yeah, V. There's only one for V. It was a Christmas episode.
The Christmas episode. The Christmas episode.
Starred David Harbour.
Violent
playing
Night.
Santa. There you go. And W. No, two to go. W. We've covered quite a few for W.
I'm thinking Werewolf, but I don't know if that's where I should be going.
One of the first director interviews we done. Super, super nice guy. Indie film.
Oh,
that we got a screener for.
Yeah. What was the name of that movie? I know I'm supposed to tell you that, but I am.
Yeah. Guy wore a mask and had a torch.
Yeah, I can't think the Welder. The Welder.
The Welder, yeah. Could have also had any of the Winnie the Pooh movies or When Evil Lurked. And finally, X, the last letter we've done in the alphabet. There's only one movie we have covered that begins with the letter X, and it is...
Oh, that's really fucking difficult, man. What kind of movie begins with the letter X? A movie called X. I'm going to go with X.
That's correct. So they're the ones we've done. I think at some point I'm going to do a poll with just movies for Q, Y, and Z. Could you just to round?
Yeah, you should. Yeah, just so we can play that game in its entirety.
Yeah, so we've got it. I'm gonna let
the next time we play it, we should do those polls, get them all knocked off, and then you should give me a 60-second timer, because then you know you've got it all. Then.
Yeah, okay. We'll get that poll out later this year. I'm going to let you round this one up first.
Oh, I wasn't expecting that. I'm not ready. For me, Sleepaway Camp 2 is an undiscovered gem of horror movie sequels. This is only going to come down to personal preference. There's going to be a lot of people out there that watch this movie and think, what the hell is this tripe? If you're into the same kind of stupidity and slasher budgetary bullshit that I am, this movie is going to be one of those films, if you haven't seen it, that is just really going to be an awakening for you. I watched this movie and was just completely mesmerized by it from start to finish for all the wrong reasons. But again, given what I'm into as a horror fan, it was for all the right reasons. The kills, brilliant, creative, practical effects, stupidly entertaining. The cast's over the top, underwhelming performance, but for the right reasons. A movie like this is hard to round up and describe in terms of critiquing it, because every element of this movie is bad.
Yeah.
But if you like it and you're into it, it's fucking great. And I don't think there is a B-movie horror out there that executes all these perfectly enjoyable elements as well as Sleepaway Camp 2 does. It's going to blow a lot of people away when I say this, but Sleepaway Camp 2 is a 5 out of 5 horror movie for me. I loved every minute I had with it. I've watched it twice since my initial watch at the start of the week, so I've watched it 3 times in 4 days, and I fucking love it.
Yeah, it's a fair score. It's kind of where I expected you to be, if I'm being honest. This film is trash. The acting is trash. The effects are trash. The plot and story are trash. The kills are trash. There is not a single thing in this movie from a critical standpoint that Sleepaway Camp 2 unhappy campers do right. But it's somehow one of the most enjoyable watches I have had this year. I love that it's a little bit perverted like most 80s slashers were. I love the fact that it's massively over the top. I love the fact that all the practical effects look like they were done for £8.50. I love the attempts at nodding to other horror movies. And they captured the camp style horror better than a Friday the 13th movie for me.
Yeah,
I can't in good conscience tell you this is a good movie and you're going to enjoy it, because there's loads of you who will watch this and go, this is fucking awful. But there's probably a big portion of you who, like me, faults and all, will absolutely adore this. this gets a 4.8 out of 5, which makes Sleepaway Camp one of the highest scoring movies we've had this year, which in itself is fucking insane.
I'm here for it.
Yeah, me too. Next week, we are back with a listener request and 2 incredible guests as we celebrate a movie for Pride Month. The movie in question is Poltergeist.
I thank all the evil gays.
I guess I'm going to say surprise, but all I'm going to say is going to be 3 times as gay as it normally is on this episode.
I am worried. I am worried about next week.
It will be absolutely fine. We are joined by 2.
It won't be. It won't be fine. It won't be fine. You know it won't be fine. You know I'm going to get in trouble. You know I'm going to say shit I shouldn't say.
Well, as I said to one of the guests when I was talking to him today, my words were, if it's our last episode, because we say something that we shouldn't, at least we'll go out in a blaze of glory. To quote Kurt Cobain, it's better to burn out than to fade away. But until then, everybody,
I'm in so much shit next week.
Go back to your cabins, get some sleep. Night, campers. See you all next week.
Cheers, guys. See you next week.
You want to die tonight?
Jokes you tell sets the scene. I hang on every word lost in the screen. Your passion for fear is contagious enough. You make me believe in Mark's overblown roundups. You run podcasts or a movie review, unveiling facts and playing games too. Your words paint pictures of darkness and dread, leaving me grinning long after I fled. You run podcasts or a movie review, unveiling facts and playing games too. Your words paint pictures of